Relationship is a stupid concept in and of itself. And the reason is as follows. This idea of networking has been in existence for eons, decades. The rich people taught it to their children, who in turn taught it to their grandchildren, creating a progressive generations of knowledgeable individuals. And you're just learning about it now, running like a kid. I need men, I need relationship, I need to get men, network, network. The problem I have with poor people, the problem I have with people who are the lowest echelon of society, before we move on, poverty is a consequence of the mind, not a consequence of the pocket. If you're poor in your mind, you will inevitably be poor in your pocket. You read the book, The Richest Man in Babylon. It starts it starts painting a picture of a young man contemplating his life, wondering where he had it all wrong and why his classmates who went to the same school with him, ate from the same plate, was successful and he was not. He came to the conclusion something is wrong with his mind. But that's not the discourse of tonight's video. We are going to talk about how relationship is a shit, how all of these gurus fleece dollars from you in order to put you in a network where it's purported to give you value. And in fact, if that was the case, because value is a symbiotic relationship, symbiotic means reciprocal. Majority do not have value to offer, which keeps them poor. It's a different discourse in and of itself. Let me not get way ahead of myself. But back to the subject of relationship. Relationship, as you know it becomes wrong when it's your sole crutch. Most people lean on relationship as the sole basis of success. Unfortunately, there normally becomes when you sustain that mindset that the only way to get to the next level is through a network, through relationship, which is good by the way. However, I famously said this, there are only two doors to enter the room of greatness. One, through value, and once you go through that route, they would shake hands with you, treat you as an equal. You would get a seat on the table. Conversely, once you go through the route of relationship, you would forever be a slave. There are people listening who cannot move 2 to 3 steps without bowing down and scraping and having to prostrate to shake people's hands. Don't get me wrong, I'm not endorsing negligence. I'm not endorsing intolerance. The Bible says it. Give honor to where it is due. Give honor to where it is due. If someone has outperformed or has been successful or is successful in a field, is successful in a venture, it's most likely he's deserving of your honor. Respect him in whatever expression you choose to show respect. But the point I'm trying to highlight is once relationship is your sole and only tool for success, you would forever remain a slave. There are churches today, as a consequence of significant donations, the sponsors suggest the teachings, the sponsors suggest the narratives because of donation. Unfortunately, the man of God is deprived of the knowledge of God's provision, especially financially. Considering you're a non-profit organization, God has made provision for the church's well-being. Having a scarcity mindset, this is the only way to get money through relationship, would forever keep you a slave. It's a wrong mindset to sustain. Unfortunately, I'm sure there are a lot of nuances to this concept, and I completely agree. However, people who sustain the mindset of using relationship as a soul crush is most likely they are not valuable. Yes, relationship is beneficial when it's symbiotic. You call someone up, he helps you to do something. 3 days later, you help him to do something. It's not about evening out or being equally beneficial. It's being mutually beneficial. Relationship is not equal. It is mutual. Discard that mindset of trying to get even. Say the help you render someone in your network costs $100,000. He in turn or you artificially or otherwise devise situations or scenarios to cost him that exact same amount. My friend, it is a bad and scarcity way to fare. And once people who plunder or who have explored your debts find out this is what you're doing, it's only a matter of time before you lose your network. Nobody wants to deal with the cheap man or with the guy who's always keeping records. It's a wrong way to go about it. So back to the original point. The individuals who see relationship as a sole means to success are not valuable. If you're not valuable and you're always taking, it's a parasitic relationship. Humans are not designed to give always, or what's the word? Humans are not designed to give indefinitely. They're not designed to tolerate negative or positive habits indefinitely. And I say positive because power corrupts. If you offer kindness, and I did this in my previous videos, if you offer kindness on a long enough time frame, it translates to entitlement. I shared the story of how I would receive allowances from this guy. It went from a long text expressing my gratitude to a one word text, then an emotional reaction, then no reaction at all. It was so bad that this person would have to call to confirm if I've received X amount, on which I would respond casually with thanks. So familiarity breeds contempt. The first person to see a camel fled. The second dared within distance. The third dared turn it into a riding animal. By that illusion or by that analogy, you should see clearly familiarity breeds contempt. You see this in your own life. You're always with your girl. You're always calling. You're always texting. It might be fun for the first 1, 2 months. Anything outside that time frame brings contempt. All of a sudden, she's busy. She takes your calls for granted. You call. This is the fifth time today. Yeah, I'm busy. And you don't respond. And she doesn't respond. You at the other end, foolishly believing you did something wrong or something you said. No. Familiarity breeds contempt. For that same reason, in the days of old, women would send their suitors on wild goose chase like an emerald heart, some diamond from the dragon's mouth. Princesses would send their princes on the most arduous of paths to embark on the most difficult of journeys. First, to prove their worth. Secondly, to create this artificial scarcity, to create artificial scarcity. From this channel, you learn that every single thing is cause and effect. Things leads to things. Once you create scarcity, you create value by default. So instead of going the hard route, trying to create value, trying to work on your character, trying to develop your beauty, all you need to do is to create scarcity. So relationship is shit. Relationship is only beneficial when it's mutual, which leads to the next point. Mutual relationship, as you know it, is mutual in fact. This answers your question. What value do I provide to this rich man? He's way out of my league. Your value doesn't have to be equal. It just have to exist. You must be in a position where you can at least make his life more convenient, at least make his life easier. If it takes you to get down on your knees and wipe his shoes, do exactly that as long as it is value. My friend, at the infancy of your career, you should feel no shame doing a business, growing your YouTube channel, posting every single thing it takes you to get ahead. Yes, in countries like Africa where the givers of favor would want you to worship them, would want you to bow before their knees, would take precautionary measures to put you under their thumb as a consequence of some benefits rendered. Yes, that is existent. I'm not disputing that fact. However, in your pursuit of success, do not sell your dignity. I want you to always consider 5 moves ahead. At least 5 moves. It's not everything you should collect. There are things once received is akin to selling your birthright. When Esau received that pottage, he sold his birthright there and then. To him, he might somehow believe birthright is an abstract concept, but we see from the Bible that the universe worked. What you see as coincidence, to me, I see a perfect sequence between cause and effect. Opportunities present themselves. Opportunity presents itself as a consequence of causes. If you went to the gym, improved your communication skills, worked as hard as possible on trying to build a brand off of it, a billionaire walks into the gym, sees you in great shape, offers you a coaching contract. From a general standpoint, you might be considered lucky to the average eye, but to the trained eye, he sees the perfect sequence of cause and effect. Had you not been consistent, had you not gone to the gym, had you not done every single thing it took to attain that physique, what are the chances of you getting a coaching contract? Exactly. Work in the consciousness, opportunities passes you every single day. You're just not yet developed to number one, discern, and number two, take advantage of the opportunities. I repeat it. You walk past opportunities every single day, but you're not discerning enough or you're not prepared to maximize those opportunities. As Da Vinci put it, everything leads to everything. Everything is connected to everything. That one small anomaly can lead to the next big thing. It's just like Steve Jobs taking calligraphy classes, which would ultimately become the font of the iPhone. Whatever negative experiences you're going through today and you're trying to downplay, you can't wait to get to the other side of the page. My friend, do not rob yourself of a wonderful story that will be used to spur posterity into action. Let me share a quick story. My sister, at the infancy of her life during high school days, she decided to learn baking, that she decided to learn how to bake, essentially a caterer from a mom and pop shop, what Nigerians consider or what Nigerians know as kiosk, from a very small shop of which the woman didn't sustain the best of characters. However, she persevered. Years later, she would become fat, overweight, of which we would mock her. Some years into the future, she lost weight, developed her own recipe. Now she's built up a brand of weight loss, of which is contingent on baking. So there are some healthy foods that needs to be baked alongside cooked, alongside their treaties. In fact, she's established a brand off of the weight loss and weight gain industry. The point I'm trying to highlight is that small event, such as baking, missed in her life would have cost her a lot of opportunities and a lot of money. Perhaps she wouldn't be in the fortunate situation she is currently. Walk in the consciousness of that and you'll be fine. As always, my friend, it's a pleasure speaking to you. I'll see you in the next one.